Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let's take a look at some of the new features in iOS 17 for the iPhone. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about it, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. Now there are a ton of new features in iOS 17. I count more than 100. There are new things in just about every aspect and app that comes with your iPhone. Here are some things that you can check out as soon as you upgrade. So first, let's take a look at something called contact posters. So this is what somebody else sees when you call them. So you set this up by going into the Contacts app on your iPhone, and then you tap on your own contact there at the top and you look for contact photo and poster. And here's where you can configure it. So the first time you do it, you'll see this. You go through. Now you can customize your name. So what they see is your name. And then you could set either a photo or use an emoji. I'm going to select a photo and it has up there at the top suggested. I'm just going to use suggested ones with my face in it. I'm going to select this one. And then I can go and use it like that, or I can swipe to choose kind of a filter for it. And once I get a filter that I like, I can actually tap. There are options. You can see a color option in this one, color backdrop. I can select a different color, for instance, like that. And then I can tap here and I've got depth effect or not. And I can tap done. And then I'll kind of see a preview of what it looks like. This is what it'll look like when somebody else gets a phone call from me. And then here you can see me do an emoji right there. And I'm going to use an emoji instead. And I'm going to tap this one I created of myself. And I'm going to select a pose. So a good pose will just be like this one right here. And then next. And then I'm going to pick a background color. And from that I'm going to go and once I get a color I like, then tap done. And then again it'll show me a preview. And then I like that one so I'll continue. And then I also get to pick the contact avatar there. So I can crop basically a version of what it is I created right there and get it to what I want. Position it and then choose. And now I'm done. So I'll continue. And then this is what other people will see when I call them. Next we got a feature called standby mode. And this is what happens when you put your iPhone in horizontal mode. Like you put it on your nightstand at night and you're using the MagSafe charger. And it kind of is just as easy to put it horizontal as vertical. And when you do that, it will go into a mode that looks like this. And there's several different options. So you have this one that has a clock and some info, some widget info. You've got a photos option. You've got a bigger clock right here. You can tap and hold and then go and swipe or tap these dots here to the right to choose from various things. And there are different options for each one. So you can customize it to be like what you want. And like we go to this one here, I can tap and hold and I can go through some different options for a photos background one. And for this one here, this is like the widget one. So there are a bunch of different widgets and I can tap and hold and select widgets like a calendar widget, for instance. Here's a small feature, but I know a lot of people are going to love this. And this is when you're editing your home screen. Let's say you tap and hold and then drag something. You can now undo. So you shake your iPhone just like you're going to undo anything. And the undo action here will allow you to undo the move. And this will work on a simple move like that or maybe something more complex like I'll drag this to another screen here and it's going to push an icon off into a further screen. But I can shake, undo, and everything goes back the way it was. You can see now I've got the wallet app back there on the first one. All right, so here's a cool feature for the phone app. And if somebody calls you now and you let it go to voicemail, you can actually see a transcription of the voicemail. So it's not going to actually speak the voicemail. You won't hear it. But what happens is the phone rings and then you don't answer it or you tap the voicemail button and it will go to voicemail. And now as they talk, you'll see the text appear right here. So this is something I recorded earlier and you can see as I start to talk, that's what the message is. And then you could decide at some point to accept the call. So you can tap that, or you can tap block if you're just getting spam at that point. Or just lock your phone and put it away if you just want to continue having it record the voicemail as normal. Now, one of the things you're going to notice is the call interface has changed for the first time in a long time. So now when you make a phone call, like I will right here, and I put the call through, look at how the buttons are now all there on the bottom. The idea is you can reach them easier with your thumb or single finger there. So you can use that to end the call, or you can, for instance, tap one of the other buttons, like maybe tap the audio button to send it to a speaker, or tap the keypad button or the mute button right there to use one of those. So everything's along the bottom and easier to get to, but it is going to trip some people up right after they've upgraded. A lot of little tricks in Safari. One of them is when you go to a page that has an article on it, you can now tap on the reader view button up there, but there's now a listen to page button, and it will speak the text for you.
Wombat. For other uses, see Wombat disambiguation.
Here's another one that I quite like. You can now have separate search engines in Safari for regular browsing or for private browsing. So you can see there's a search engine setting for the regular search engine, and you can set a different one up if you're using a private window. All right, here's a big one. Now in the Maps app, you can download maps. So you tap on your profile icon at the bottom right, and then you go to Map Downloads there, and you can download a suggested map. In this case, it's just my local area, or I can search for an area, or just start with the current location, and I can pinch in and out and swipe around to select an area. And once I get the area I want, it tells me how much space it's going to take up, and I can tap download and I'll start to download this map. So then I have access to the map information for this area even when I don't have an internet connection, which could be really useful. And Google Maps has had this for a while. And you have some options here about like when they get updated and whether or not to optimize storage and things like that. There are a few new tricks when you do a spotlight search. One of the things I really like here is that you can now search for a shortcut, and it will show up there, and you can actually execute the shortcut. So here's my resize photo shortcut, and I can execute it right here in Spotlight. I don't have to go to the Shortcuts app or have set up a button on the home screen. You can also search for a setting, and some settings, like I'm going to search for Bluetooth here, actually will give you the on-off switch right there in Spotlight. You don't have to go to the Settings app. All right, so there are more things you can now use Visual Lookup for. Here I am in the Photos app, and there's some food. And if I do Visual Lookup here, it will allow me to look up food, and it will tell me what it is and also give me recipes for it. Now you can also do things with the little symbols that appear either on laundry labels, but also on your car's dashboard. So it'll identify those items. Now if you have a subscription to News Plus, then a new feature is crossword puzzles. And they're not just going to show them to you. You can actually play it. So it's a little game inside of the News app. So if I just start a search here, see Puzzles is right at the top. And I'm going to get results here for both regular crossword and a crossword mini. And if I select the regular crossword, you can see it's interactive. I can see the clues, and I could type letters there. There's a list there at the top. If I tap that little list button to see all the different clues. So crossword puzzle you can play every day. So a major new feature is interactive widgets. So we had widgets before, like the ones you see here. But notice how there are buttons now. And I can say, tap the call or message button for a contact widget there. So you can put your important people there as widgets. You've got a play button for music. I could even tap items and reminders to dismiss them. If I look at the options for a widget, you can see sometimes you have a show buttons option. So you may want to check that if you don't get those buttons there on a particular widget. So as I said before, there are tons of new features in iOS 17. These are just some of them. I'll be talking about others in future videos. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.